She was 17 years old, standing in our hallway, eyes red, voice shaking, and she looked at me, her own mother, and she said the words I never thought I would hear. "Lily, I wish you were never my mother." She didn't scream it. She said it quietly, and that made it so much worse. I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I just nodded, because part of me, the part carrying the secret I had never told anyone, understood why she felt that way. She didn't know the truth. She didn't know why I had a record. She didn't know why I had missed 3 years of her life. The truth was, I took the blame for something she did, and I would do it again. Every single time. My name is Carol Reeves. I grew up in Akron, Ohio. Nothing fancy, nothing easy. I had Lily when I was 22, and her father, Raymond, left before she could walk. But that story matters, because Lily always asked about him, and I always had to decide how much truth a child can hold. Raymond was a good man, once. Funny, hard-working, present. When Lily was born, he held her for 2 hours straight, didn't put her down, kept saying, "Raymond, she's pretty, Carol. She's absolutely pretty." But Raymond carried something heavy inside him, something he never named. His own father had left when he was 9. His mother worked around the clock. He grew up in a house where nobody talked about pain. They just swallowed it. When Lily was 18 months old, Raymond lost his job at the plant. He tried to find another one for 5 months. He couldn't. I watched him get quieter, watched him stop eating dinner with us, watched him sit on the back steps at night, just staring at nothing. I tried to reach him. Me, "Raymond, talk to me. We can figure this out together." Raymond, "You don't need to figure anything out with me, Carol. You and Lily are better off if I'm not dragging you down." One morning I woke up and he was gone. No argument, no goodbye, just a note on the kitchen counter. Raymond's note. "I'm sorry, you deserve more than what I am right now. Take care of her." Raymond. He wasn't a cruel man, he was a broken one. And broken people sometimes believe that leaving is the kindest thing they can do. They're wrong, but they don't know that yet. Lily used to ask me about him every year a little differently. At 7, "Where is my daddy?" At 10, "Why didn't he want us?" At 14, "Did he even love me?" I always told her the same thing. Me, he loved you the best way he knew how. It just wasn't enough for him to stay. I think that wound, that empty space where a father should have been, became a fire in her. And she didn't always know where to aim it. I worked 2 jobs for most of Lily's childhood. Waitress in the mornings, cashier at night, always tired, but always there. When Lily was 14, we moved to Cincinnati for a better job. New school, no friends, unfamiliar streets. She became quiet in a way that wasn't peaceful, stopped talking at dinner, started coming home late without explaining, started spending time with older kids I didn't know. Me, "Lily, talk to me. What's going on, baby?" Lily, "You don't trust me. You never trust me." I was working long hours, trying to keep us stable. I told myself she was okay, because I needed her to be okay. It was a Tuesday in October. I remember the cold. I got home at 11:30 at night. Lily was supposed to be in bed. She wasn't. She was sitting on the kitchen floor, back against the cabinet, shoes still on, hands shaking. I dropped my bag. Me, "Lily, look at me. What happened?" She told me everything through tears and broken sentences. She had been with her friends. An older boy dared her to steal from a store. Expensive electronics. They ran. A security guard caught up. Her face was on the camera. Her name was already in a report. She was 14 years old. She was terrified, and she was crying into my shoulder saying, "Lily, Mama, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry." And I held her, and I made a decision. I know what you're thinking. Let her face it. She made the choice. You're not wrong. But here is what I knew that night. A record at 14 in our neighborhood could follow her to every door she ever tried to open. College, jobs, housing, everything. I had seen it happen to kids on our block, one mistake at the wrong age, and the system never let go. So the next morning, I walked into that store, I spoke to the manager, I told them it was me on the camera, that my daughter had nothing to do with it. I was charged, not Lily. I never told her, not that day, not for years. The case moved slowly through the system. I served just over 11 months in a county facility. 11 months is a long time when your daughter is 15. I told Lily I had done something wrong. I told her I couldn't explain it yet. She went to stay with my sister Ruth in Columbus. The letters I sent from inside, she didn't write back to most of them. When I came home, she looked at me like a stranger. She was 16. Angrier, harder, already building a wall between us, brick by brick. Lily, you left me, Mom. You just left me. I know, I'm sorry, baby. Lily, you keep saying sorry, but you won't even tell me why. First Dad, now you. Is everyone in my life just going to walk out? That last part, first Dad, now you, it went through me like something cold. She wasn't just angry at me. She was angry at every person who had ever left her without a real reason. And in her eyes, I was just the latest one. A year after I came home, we were fighting again. About what? I can't even remember. Every little thing had become a spark. She was 17, applying to colleges, doing well in school again, but angry that my record complicated her financial aid, angry that our life was harder because of choices she believed I made, angry in the way only a teenager can be when they have no idea what their parent actually sacrificed. She turned to me in that hallway and said it, Lily, I wish you were never my mother. She went to her room. I stood in the hallway alone, and I thought, if she knew the truth, would it change anything? Lily got into college, 3 hours away. She was leaving in August. I knew if she left without the truth, she would carry the wrong story about me for the rest of her life. The week before she left, I sat at the kitchen table for 2 hours, and I wrote her a letter. I left it on her desk, then I went to bed. My letter to Lily. I've been trying to find the right words for 3 years. I don't know if these are the right ones, but they are the honest ones. The night you came home scared, the October night when you were 14. I know what happened, all of it. The next morning I went to that store. I told them it was me on that camera. I took responsibility for what you did, not because you were bad. You are not bad. You never were. You were a child who made one mistake around the wrong people. I made the choice I made because I could not watch that one mistake follow you to every door you would ever try to open. I am not telling you this so you will feel guilty. I am telling you this because you deserve the truth before you walked out that door. Everything I have ever done has been to keep you whole, even the things that looked like I was falling apart. I love you. I always have. I always will. Mum. I heard her door open at 2 a.m, footsteps in the hall. My bedroom door opened slowly. She stood there holding the letter, face wet. Lily. Mom, is this real? Me. Yes, baby. She crossed the room, and for the first time in 3 years, she held me. Not a quick hug, the kind where you feel a person shaking, because something inside them is finally breaking open. Lily, how did you carry this alone? How could you not tell me? Because that's what I was there for, to carry the things you couldn't yet. Lily, I said terrible things to you, Mum. You were in pain. You didn't have the whole story. That's not cruelty, Lily. That's just being human. We talked until 4 a.m, about everything. The October night, the months I was away, her father, the letters, the silence, all of it. She asked me about Raymond too. That night, with everything raw and open, she finally asked the real question. Lily. Did he know about you? About what you did for me? Me. No, he was already gone by then. Lily. I used to think you were like him, that you left the same way he did, for no real reason. Just gone. Me. I know, and I'm sorry I couldn't explain sooner. I was trying to protect you from carrying something that wasn't yours to carry. She left for college that August. But before she got in the car, she hugged me longer than she ever had. And she whispered in my ear, Lily, I'm glad you're my mother. I'm so glad you're my mother. I watched her drive away, and I stood on that porch for a long time. The sun was setting, the sky painted in streaks of orange and pink, the kind of colours that make you feel small and alive at the same time. I thought about all the nights I had spent awake, carrying burdens she never saw, all the letters I had written and the secrets I had held, and I realised something. Love doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't need applause or recognition. Sometimes love is quiet. Sometimes love is invisible. And sometimes the hardest choices are the ones no one ever notices. I went back inside the house. The rooms were empty now, except for the echoes of laughter from the past. I walked to her old bedroom and looked around. Her posters were gone, her books packed. Everything was changed. But the space she had filled in my heart, that was still hers. I sat down at the kitchen table, a cup of tea in my hands. I thought about her father, about the choices we make, and how even the ones that seem cruel can come from love or fear or brokenness. I whispered into the empty room, grow strong, Lily, find yourself, and never doubt that you are loved, always, no matter what. And I knew finally that letting her go wasn't losing her. It was trusting her to carry forward the pieces I had held so she could learn to hold her own. The porch was quiet, the night was soft, and for the first time in years I felt at peace. Lily's father left because he felt like a burden. He thought leaving was love. I stayed but I stayed silent, and my silence looked just like his absence. That is what I want you to hear today. Sometimes the people who love you most look like they are failing you, because the sacrifice is invisible, because the protection has no voice. Before you decide someone didn't care, ask them gently. Ask them before it's too late. Is there someone in your life you may have judged before you knew the whole story? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And if this story touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today.